Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Irrespective of the country you are watching this live session, welcome to H&H Global Education. H&H Global is a global platform for international students. Today, as part of our daily live session, we have invited one of our key partners, St. Mary's University, Twickenham, London. The university's South Asian manager, Ms. Undaleeb Qazi, will be available with us. We're going to discuss about the university entry requirements, the university upcoming January 2021 session courses, any updates about the prospective students, the English entry requirements, the scholarship available. So whatever questions you have, you feel free to visit our Facebook page. You can also email us at info@hhedu.co.uk. Along with that, our dedicated live team also available. You can WhatsApp us at 0796955331, also 073995994646. You can also give us text messages to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page link is H&H Global Bangladesh, H&H Global India, H&H Global Ahmedabad, H&H Global Pakistan, and H&H Global Morocco. We're gonna take on board to our guest, Ms. Qazi. Hi, Undaleeb. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
So, Undaleeb, thank you very much for joining us today through this live session. I'd like to introduce to our prospective students, the viewers who are watching this live session through our Facebook channel, also our YouTube channel. Along with that, we have viewers of our 5 or 6 pages available around the world. I believe our prospective students will be able to get to know more information about the January 2021. We know that it is a very tough time going on throughout the world. So arranging a live session is very, very important for the prospective students, so that students get to know more information, how this COVID-19 situation affecting their studies and all, and how St. Mary's particularly arranging for upcoming sessions and also any particular updates. So welcome to the board, and I'd like to have you welcome your speech, please.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Can you hear me, Qazi? Can you hear me, Undaleeb?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'd like to have you welcoming speech to our prospective students, and we can start our session.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much again for having me. And this is a wonderful opportunity to tell you about St. Mary's and also to take any questions that students or prospective students might have about the university or studying abroad. As you said, it is a very uncertain time for everyone all over the world. It's unanimous regarding that. But what is positive is the university is up and running. We are still welcoming students. We've just received our September cohort of students. Some are being phased in, so some are starting their courses online and are just waiting for when they can actually enter the UK. But what is really positive is the university is up and running. It is running face-to-face classes at the moment. Obviously, it's adhering to all of the government guidelines. Social distancing is in practice, all of the things to ensure the safety of our students. However, we are up and running and we are still welcoming students. I'm just going to start with an overview for all of your listeners that might not know much about St. Mary's. I'll just give you a kind of snapshot of the university. These are some of the key things that I think makes us unique. We are a unique public institution. We're situated in London. We have a 170-year history. We're established in 1850, so we're quite an old university, but very modern in terms of our outlook. We're situated in really beautiful green and historic campus, which is right next to the River Thames, the Thames that runs through London, in the borough of Richmond, which is one of the safest boroughs in London. Location is really key to St. Mary's because if your viewers know London, we're southwest London, but only 30 minutes from the city centre and 30 minutes from Heathrow Airport, which is the largest international airport in the UK. So location is great. It's for students that want that wonderful campus experience, but want that proximity also to the city centre and all of the amazing things that that brings. We offer quality and affordable on-campus accommodation for students with catered options as well. There's also lots of choice and competitively priced off-campus accommodation in our local area. The university offers over 150 affordable undergraduate and postgraduate courses in a select number of subject areas, which include business, law, social sciences, education, health and sports sciences. Those are our key subject areas, and our course fees are competitively priced, particularly for a London institution. So our new fees for 2021 would be just under £13,000 for undergraduate courses per year and under £14,000 for our master's courses. I will go into more detail regarding fees, but that's just a snapshot in terms of the overall programme prices. We're very well known both nationally and internationally for our excellence in sport. In fact, we're ranked third in England for sport. We offer Olympic standard world-class sports facilities, which are used by professional athletes such as Mo Farah, Usain Bolt, Andy Murray. And we're a host for a number of national and international teams that come from all over the world, particularly during the Olympics, for example, and throughout the year, which really reflects our quality and our standards in sport. We boast really high graduate employment rates. We're in the top 10 in the UK in terms of graduate employability. 98% of our graduates are either in further education or employment 15 months after graduating, which really emphasises the university's focus on making sure that our students are employment ready once they graduate. And we're a top London university for student experience. We're also ranked first in London, according to The Guardian, for course and teaching satisfaction. So while we're a smaller institution in terms of size, we have around 5,000 students, which compared to some of the other London institutions is comparatively small. What you get is a real welcoming, friendly student atmosphere where students are really seen by their name, known by name rather than number. And I think what's evident is that we rank so highly for both course teaching and student satisfaction. So the students that do come and study with us are extremely satisfied.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for explaining a brief description about St. Mary's University and the courses and entry requirements. So moving forward to our next part of the session, so we're going to discuss about the different courses, different aspects, particularly for undergraduate, postgraduates, and what St. Mary's University is offering for January 2021. And in this difficult time, in majority of the cases where the English centers are closed, what other major English providers has been accepted by St. Mary's, and is there any other particular aspects that we can discuss about that? And dear viewers, I would recommend if you have any question in hand, you can start emailing us. Our dedicated email team is also reply back to you. If you want to send your qualifications, we're going to give you direct feedback straight away. Along with that, you can WhatsApp us as well. Our WhatsApp team also available to give you any particular question in hand. So you can start sending your questions. Once we have finished our discussion about the overall discussion about St. Mary's, we can go to each of the questions and answer accordingly. So let's move on to the next part of the this session. Undaleeb, is what are the courses that St. Mary's is offering for January 2021? And I believe most of the courses are for postgraduates. 6 or 7 courses are available. If we can discuss about those particular aspects, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. So we're only offering postgraduate courses for our January intake, of which there are 8 different courses. So the key ones, I think, particularly for our Bangladesh market, are around business. So we have an MSc in International Business Management. We also have an International Finance and Management MSc, and then Finance and Accounting MSc. They all offer the option of a workplace module as well. So obviously, if conditions remain okay, then students will get the opportunity to also have a placement within the 1-year master's degree. We also offer a sports management MSc as well. So that's combined both with the business school and our sports science school. So that's specifically for students that maybe come from a sports science background or a management background, but want to obviously specialize within the sporting arena. And then within health sciences, we have a chronic disease management MSc available. And then within education, we have an MA Catholic School Leadership Masters available. The university's roots are in the Catholic Church. It is a Catholic university. So we do offer obviously specific programs within Catholic education as well. And we have 2 arts-based programs, master's programs for January. One is London Theatre and the other one is playwriting. The application deadline for our January programs is the 15th of January. So students still have a few months to obviously research their courses. And if they are still interested in applying, they have until mid-January to do so. The fees for our January intake are the fees that we had for 2020. So your viewers might be aware that most UK institutions in particular, their program fees tend to increase slightly every year due to inflation. So our program fees for 2020 for master's programs were £13,650 for the year. So that price is still going to be honoured for the January intake. From September onwards, there will be a slight increase where the course will start at £13,950. But for January, it will be £13,650. We do offer scholarships at postgraduate level. They start at £1,500. They're for students that meet and exceed our entry criteria and obviously show real passion and focus for studying at St Mary's. That would basically be deducted from their final fee. But in order to secure their place, students need to pay a deposit of £5,000. They can then pay the rest of their tuition fee at enrolment in January or in 3 installments after that. We ask for a minimum IELTS score of 6.5 or equivalent for our postgraduate courses. Undergraduate courses, we generally ask for an IELTS of 6. But at postgraduate level, it's IELTS 6.5 with no less than 6 in each band. Obviously, with so many test centres closing, we do offer alternatives. So IELTS Indicator is one that we accept. We also offer Duolingo. And the university has its own in-country test, which is basically like an online IELTS indicator test. It's 70 minutes long. It costs £40, and it works the same way as an online IELTS test. And if students pass the HLA, which is the Holmes Language Assessment, our own in-country test, then they're automatically their English language qualification will automatically be waived. So that's an alternative. As well as that, we also accept TOEFL and Pearson. For students that don't meet our English language requirement, we still have a 6-week pre-sessional English course, which starts on the 16th of November. That's for students, let's say, that only need to improve their IELTS by 0.5. So if a student has IELTS 6, they could apply for a 6 weeks pre-sessional course at the university, obviously as long as they get an offer before early November. That's an online pre-sessional course. The tuition fees for that are £2,000.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for going through each of the courses. As dear viewers, as Undaleeb mentioned that there are few courses available for January 2021. One of them is MA in Marketing, MSc International Business Management, MSc International Finance and Accounting, and MSc International Finance and Management as well. Sports Management is another very good course. And along with that, due to the pandemic situation, I think MSc in Chronic Disease Management is another key course that international students is looking to get into it. Moving forward, majority of the our South Asian students are mostly interested in apart from the science and engineering courses, they are mostly interested for business, management, and accounting courses. So I think for January 2021, there are 3 courses available. I would like to have a just bit of discussion about it. I think Undaleeb can give me correction if I'm wrong in terms of the information that I'm providing. MSc in Marketing, I believe 1-year course, which is the entry requirement is 2:2. For Bangladeshi students, I believe as long as they have 2.75 overall in their bachelor degree, they will be eligible to apply for this particular course. And in terms of the IELTS, it's 6.5, no less than 6.0 any of the sections. And students with a very good English in command, you can take an internal English test facilities. So any international students who wants to go for internal English test for St. Mary's University, you have to have an offer in hand in order to be eligible to be booking the internal English test. If I'm not wrong, Undaleeb.
Yes, I just need to correct you though that our MSc Marketing is not available for the January intake. It's available from September, and that's due to well, a number of reasons, but it's a new program for the university, but it's got its verification for September, not for January. So the courses that I mentioned, International Finance and Management, International Finance and Accounting, International Business Management, and Sports Management are the 4 management programs that are available for the January intake. But you're right in terms of the entry criteria. We ask for a UK 2.2 or equivalent. That equates to about a GPA of 2.75 for Bangladeshi students out of 4, or about 55%. And students that don't currently have IELTS but already have a good level of English, I appreciate that a lot of the institutions in Bangladesh already teach in the medium of English. And if you are keen on just applying to St. Mary's, then our in-country English language test, the online test that I mentioned, the HLA, would be a great alternative. It's very reasonably priced. It only takes 70 minutes online. And obviously students that meet the requirements and pass that automatically then qualify.
Yes, and in terms of the when I was actually going through the particular courses available for January session, I went through some of your courses. Which one of the modules I will discuss for our prospective students is like in majority some of the master's courses, there is a particular module that you still need to study, and that module is a work placement. I think let me go through that particular aspect, because while I was actually communicating with the prospective students, they're asking about employability. So in terms of the employability, St. Mary's focus very much about it, particularly in the masters as well. So what I like to say is professional and personal and professional development, which is an industry placement, is optional 20 credits, which is available through your course. And these particular modules is available to everybody who wants to study, but it is optional. It is up to the student whether they want to take it as part of their 180 credits master's program. So I think those students who are a bit interested that the St. Mary's courses is not there is not a 6 months or 8 months placement opportunities, but I would like to mention our prospective students that there is a 20 modules, 20 credits is available there, which is an embedded part of the course. So the difference between the I think other universities than St. Mary's in terms of the placement, this particular placement is a part of the course, not like they're giving 4 months, 6 months extra and without supporting yourself, because it is a part of the course. So you are actually getting in hand university experience, how to find a placement. and where you are going to the particular placement areas, getting the relevant experience, and you are actually submitting your proposal or you're submitting your business projects based on your based on the company you are working for. So if Undaleeb can explain a little bit more about to our prospective students, because of this situation, most of the students they're interested about the placement and how St. Mary's courses are up to the mark on that particular point.
I mean, well, you gave a great detailed explanation. As you said, the module incorporates a period of work experience, which will enable the students to focus on both the practical application and development of their key skills within a real world setting. As a caveat, we obviously have to advise students that because of the current situation, we will obviously do our best to ensure that they all get relevant industry placements, but these are very uncertain times. So in terms of availability or what the protocols will be regarding work placements, there is a level of uncertainty in that particular area. But what we will ensure is that students do get as much real world experience as possible, even if it is doing research with an actual live business, for example, because the fact that we boast these high graduate employment rates is because we ensure that within our programs, students get the relevant integrated work experience. So as you said, it's not a sandwich program at master's level. It's integrated also within our undergraduate programs as well. Our work placements are actually integrated within the 3 years. So our thinking behind that is that students don't take out additional time from their studies to get the work experience. That becomes very much part of their studies. And in fact, it often forms the basis of their dissertation as well. So some students focus actually their dissertation on an actual business that they're doing research for, which again is another great tool to help with employability prospects. I think one of the benefits or the silver lining with this current level of uncertainty and what the job market will look like next year is obviously with the new graduate Tier 4 visa, students that apply for the January intake course or before April next year will be eligible for a 2-year post-study work visa. So those students that, for example, would like to get more UK on the ground work experience can obviously look for opportunities post-graduation as well. So that's also another way of seeing what the opportunities are. But as you said, they are integrated placements, not only within the placement. We don't just offer the industry placement within our business degrees. We also offer dual accreditation within the Chartered Management Institute, which is the professional business management body within the UK. So on completion of their modules, students will also be awarded their Level 7 diploma in strategic management and leadership. So this makes it a dual accredited course. Students not only get their degree, relevant work experience, but also professional accreditation from the CMI. So that's a real key area. You mentioned before about modules, and I would say the modules for our international business management program are really broad. Obviously, if you have a student that wants to specifically focus on finance or accounting, then the other two options would be the best place. But within the international business management MSc, students can opt for modules in Islamic finance, intercultural management, digital business, economics and international finance, what else? Management for sustainability in a globalized environment. So it's really broad. Geopolitics is another module that they can apply to undertake, as well as international human resource management. So it gives lots and lots of options. So it's great for students that want a kind of overarching business management MSc, but maybe still want to explore specific specialisms. So I think that's something really key to consider as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Undaleeb, for explaining the particular aspects about the work placement option. So basically, I was actually going through now this in this world. It is a world of to give a particular student like any changes, how they are actually one step ahead compared to other students, and how if they in studying a particular course, emphasizing on a particular modules was very important. I was actually going through one of your courses, Msc International Business Management. As Qazi Undaleeb already mentioned that it is a dual accredited. The Chartered Association of Business Schools has approved, as an accreditation of this particular course, and it is a CMI HA partner as well. So basically, you are getting dual accreditation. And another particular aspect I want to discuss is the modules that is available. I went through some other university modules as well, but quite interestingly, what St. Mary's offering is a very depending on the student's interest. So they are offering Islamic finance. I never seen MSc international business offering Islamic finance, particularly in South Asian countries, like Islamic countries, where students are mostly interested to get to know more information about Islamic finance, the way the Islamic finance is going through in all over the world as an alternative solution for the traditional financial system. And along with that, I've seen that geopolitics, digital business, and managing for sustainability. So sustainability was a key key word that is going on at the moment in terms of every part of the business. Along with that, we have modules about human resource management. We have international marketing. So these are the modules that are optional. So depending on your own circumstances, depending on your previous work experience, you can pick up the course module that you like to go for it. I think which is the key part of St. Mary's 12 months courses.
Yeah, and also, I just sorry to interrupt. I also wanted to add what I would say a selling point for our business programs is you don't have to come from a business background in order to study a business MSc. So I know a lot of institutions do require a relevant business degree before applying to an MSc in business. We offer a foundation in business for students that, let's say, come from a completely different background, whether it's arts or health sciences, for example. So there is a bridging module for students that don't have a business related background. So that's another key feature of St. Mary's Business MSc programs.
Okay. And I think if we look into the next course that is available for January 2021 is Msc Finance and Management. A lot of students are very much interested to go for this particular course regarding the fact that finance is one of the key factors for running a business. So on that particular course, we can see that there is a couple of key courses, I think key modules that students are likely to go for, like charity, finance and investment. There is responsible ethics, leadership, and in terms of that, there is investment market, investment decision making, economics and international finance, applied research skills as well, along with international finance and accounting, which is a kind of a average course. But in terms of other modules that is offering, so you still have the options along with digital business as well, managing for sustainability, same module that is available. So what we can see in different courses in St. Mary's MSc courses, the modules are not actually generalized. So depending if a particular course is being offered, it is offered for a particular reason, and students can pick their particular things as well. So I really appreciate our prospective students. If you want to study your master's level course at St. Mary's, you can really go to the particular course links. I think I will add the particular course available for January sessions in our live link. So you can go to the particular courses and check whether what actually offering St. Mary's for January sessions, and you can take a decision based on that as well. And moving forward to our next course that is available for January session. Basically, I'm going through as the courses available for January is a very short number of courses. I would like to give our prospective students a brief idea why they want to choose St. Mary's compared to the other universities. So that's why I like to go for the next course available is sports management. and another particular course is MSc in Chronic Management, Chronic Disease and Management. So if Undaleeb can give us a brief, discussion about this course, as we know that we are going for a difficult situation, and how this particular course will be, can our prospective student choose this course compared to the other university, healthcare, and disease management courses?
Yeah, absolutely. So if I start with chronic disease management, as you said, this is a very useful and I would say timely master's program, and it's basically designed to develop student skills and expertise needed to promote and support behavior change. So what's unique about the program is that the team utilize links with our local health authorities, education institutions, social care and charity organizations. So you're actually working with supportive bodies to get real kind of hands-on experience. We offer a very unique contemporary curriculum focusing on overcoming complex barriers to behavior change for health improvement, and you get relevant work experience to demonstrate the skills that you acquire from a very specific work placement, which will, of course, enhance your career opportunities. In terms of modules, the core modules look at behavior change, public health in terms of the prevention for chronic disease management, self-care approaches for chronic disease, nutrition and physical activity for chronic disease, and then you would obviously do your research dissertation in your final module. Career opportunities are quite broad, particularly the development and competencies in behavior change and lifestyle prevention of chronic diseases are highlighted as a priority by Public Health England, which is really integral to this course. So we really look at preventative approaches in terms of tackling emerging conditions, engaging hard to reach groups in the prevention and management of chronic disease. So this also includes ethnic minorities, for example. So as you might be aware, your listeners might be aware, there's a very large Bengali community within London, specifically Somali. We're a melting pot of cultures. So you really also learn in terms of multicultural approaches as well, which will be relevant for international students, not only to bring their awareness of their own communities, which are relevant within London, but also what they learn from their program within London will also be very then transferable if they were to go back to Bangladesh, for example, in terms of practicing. There is a workplace learning component which is integrated within the program, where you develop your project management skills through planning and implementing a particular project. And the idea of this is to kind of put you in a favorable position to progress in terms of your career within the chronic disease industry. If I go on to sports management, again, this is probably it's popular in terms of, again, the work placement opportunities which are available, which owe mainly to the university's links with high-profile sports clubs and organisations. I mean, if you look at our sports science programmes, you will see that we have partnerships with Chelsea Football Club, with all of the big sporting names, and the sports management students really benefit from those pre-existing links with these organizations, because then that enhances their opportunities for the placement module. And students can also train and compete using the university's state-of-the-art sports facilities. Some of the modules that are included within sports management are, again, quite broad and quite interesting. So you look at marketing and the sponsorship of sport, you look at the sports business environment as a whole, you again have the personal development industry placement, which I mentioned. You can do a consultancy research project as well with an active sporting business. We look at sport globalization in the media, so it has an international focus as well. And then some other optional modules include international finance and accounting. There's also an international human resource management option as well, responsible management and leadership in the global economy. So there's a CSR arm. So again, it's quite an exciting program, which attracts students again from various disciplines, but also those that have maybe a sports science background or have worked in sports or business, but want to particularly focus on the sports industry. And as I said before, the university is ranked third in England for sport. It's known nationally and internationally for its world-class sports facilities, which really attracts a lot of sports enthusiasts, not only from a sports science side, but also within the business world too.
Okay, thank you very much, Undaleeb, for explaining some of the courses that is available for January 2021. As Undaleeb was mentioning, one of the courses for chronic disease and management, we have started actually for last couple of months. We have started quite a good number of applications for nursing people who already are practicing nursing in Bangladesh, and they're asking for a particular course that is actually for them can be vital for this situation, and employability can be higher as well. I would actually recommend to all of the nursing students who have finished their courses in Bangladesh and other part of the world, and at the moment they are working in the hospital. I think a nursing degree along with this MSc chronic management, we can have a very good, I think, link between together. I think in terms of the entry requirements that I went through that for MSc in chronic management, they need a relevant degree in terms of as a nursing, medicine, or allied science. So I think our nurses in Bangladesh, do you think they are eligible to apply for this particular course, Undaleeb?
Yeah, we ask for students with a relevant subject. So that will include nutrition, biosciences, any kind of applied health degree such as nursing, medicine, allied health, health and exercise science, or even social science. So it's quite broad, I would say, in terms of the students that it attracts. So even a social science would be considered as well. It's also a 2-2, so equivalent GPA 2.75 for direct entry, and it's also IELTS 6.5. Some of the health science programs, such as physiotherapy, for example, nutrition and genetics, they have a slightly higher entry criteria. We ask for a 2-1 and a 7 at IELTS, whereas chronic disease management is a little bit more flexible, so a slightly lower GPA and IELTS requirement.
Okay. So I think our prospective students who are watching this live session, I recommend you to go through the particular link available to the university website for MSc Chronic Disease Management. I think it can be the course that you are looking for due to the situation is that the employability in terms of the healthcare sector is quite high. So adding this course into your portfolio will give you more chance of getting good jobs as well. Now we have started getting questions. Dear viewers, we're gonna answer the question as soon as we finish our discussion, and we'll go through each one of them. We received a couple of the event documents as well, so I'm gonna ask Undaleeb later on to advise us, and depending on the students' query and also the particular document they send it to us. So we'll go through. Please keep in patient and watch our live session. We're gonna go through each of the questions as soon as possible. Now, in terms of the entry criteria, Undaleeb already mentioned that university is flexible in terms of the entry criteria, depending on the courses you are going for. From 2.75 is the lowest level. I think 2.75 is the lowest level for our Bangladeshi students, if I'm not wrong, Undaleeb.
Yes, or 55%. So we do acknowledge that some universities may be tougher on GPA grading, but then the percentage might be higher.
Yes,
So
yes.
we equate a 2.2 with a GPA 2.75 or 55%. For some of the subjects, there are only a few, like the ones that I mentioned, physiotherapy pre-registration, they ask for a 2.1 equivalent, which we equate to a GPA 3 out of 4 for Bangladesh students, and 60%. That's at postgraduate level.
Yes. So the entry criteria is quite a bit, I think, flexible in terms of the 2.75, or you can say 2.5 as well. I think some of the universities, particularly some of the private universities in Bangladesh, where they are starting their the pass mark is actually 60%, like North South University and are the East West University as well. So students with 2.5, they're eligible to apply for the postgraduate program. There is no undergraduate program running for next January 2021. The next undergraduate program is for September 2021. We'll have another live session, hopefully, inshallah, in future as well. And we're going to cover that particular part. And in terms of the English entry requirements, Undaleeb already mentioned that university accept Duolingo. And second part is that we have own internal English test, and in order to be eligible for own internal English test, you have to have an offer in place, and then pay a particular amount, which is I think £40 for internal English test. Along with that, Pearson test is available. Pearson test is accepted. And what will be the Duolingo mark, Undaleeb? Because we can see that in some of the universities, students get confused. What will be the entry mark to getting to be applied for with the Duolingo? So is it 115 for students, or is it 120?
That's a great question. We ask for 110 to 120 overall, with 100 to 110 or higher in each component. So even if a student has 110 overall, but 95, let's say, in one component, they wouldn't be eligible. They need to have minimum 100 in each component, and overall 110 to 120 for postgraduate.
Okay. So our viewers, the University of St. Mary's, if you want to apply with your Duolingo test, you have to have 110 to 120, depending on the courses that you are applying for, and the minimum score you need to have each component is 95 to 100. It is same as
100. 100. Component has to be a minimum of 100 to 110 or higher. So you can't have any component less than 100, but the overall has to be 110 and above.
110 and above. Okay. Now, and so students applying with the Duolingo. So keep in mind that one, that you need to have 110 to 120 and no less than 100 or 110 each component that you are going for. Along with that, I would recommend students whose English capability is, you think that it is up to the mark. You can go for our internal English test facilities as well. Once you are getting your once you have done your application and offer in hand. The reason I'm asking, there are a lot of international students who started their coaching, IELTS coaching in Bangladesh, from March to April, May, June, July. But suddenly, because of the pandemic, all the coaching centers, IELTS coaching centers and IELTS centers, they are shut down, and they are actually practicing at home. So those students, it is a great opportunity from St. Mary's application, from the admission point of view. If you have started your English coaching in any of the coaching centers in Bangladesh, like IELTS coaching or on, but you have not have done the test, this is your chance. You can apply for the course for January session, get the offer letters in hand, and then you can book the internal English test facilities by paying £40. So feel free to email us your qualifications, and our dedicated team is available for you to book the test, and also to give you the guideline about the test, how the test is going to be. I think in terms of internal English test, these are the similar to IELTS. Undaleeb, if you can give us just a brief.
Yes, it's similar in terms of the same components: reading, listening, writing, speaking. It will be done with an invigilator from the HLA team. students basically, they need to first have an offer from the university. Once they have an offer, and if they're interested, they just literally follow a link, register online, they pay for the course up front, and then the HLA team will be in touch to arrange a date over the next few days for the test. So they liaise directly with the HLA team. The test is arranged. So obviously you just need to make sure you have good internet connection. I think it's done over Zoom. And then the results are given within 7 working days.
Okay. Thank you very much. And dear students as well, just to keep in mind that these exams, although you are taking at home, you need to keep in mind that it has been invigilated through the webcam. So there is no chance of, copy paste or any other things. Okay. So
Right.
some of the students are you can have in mind, oh no, I'm taking this exam at home. So a bit flexible. In terms of the flexibility, there's nothing in there. You will be invigilated by the particular exam team, and if any part of the things that you have been copying or any of the fraudulent activities you are taking, you will be straight away, you will be penalized for that. So keep in mind in hand, and also don't worry, our dedicated team is available to guide you in terms of the standard the university is taking, how the exams is going to be, what type of precaution step you need to take into hand before you go into the exam. So our team will be available and they will help you and guide you in terms of the standard the university is following. And we can give you a brief idea about the January 2021 session. The course is going to start on 25th of January 2021. And if Undaleeb can give us these details, a bit detail about the starting date, the cut deadline, and also deposit deadline and application deadline.
Well, the application deadline is the 15th of January. The course will start, I believe, from the 25th of January. So the CAS deadline would probably be a week before then, to be honest. We are aware that the situation at the moment is still quite uncertain. So if there are instances, for example, where students are unable to make the actual registration date, then subject to the program director approval, students could potentially start online for the first few weeks if need be. Obviously, we've still got a few months to go. So it's anyone's guess to know what January is going to look like for everyone, not only in the UK, but also in Bangladesh. But as we have adopted in September, there has been obviously a lot of flexibility. Some students, for example, have still not been able to leave their own home countries to arrive in the UK, so they're starting their programs online. So we are offering a mixture of face-to-face and blended learning to basically, meet the needs of all of our international and home students. So really, applications need to be in by, I would say, early January. Deposits need to be paid for CASs to be issued, really not later than, I'd say, around the 20th of January, because the actual course starts on the 25th of January.
Okay, and thank you very much, Undaleeb, giving this information. Just keep in mind the prospective students. There are a lot of students who deferred the course from September to January, and there are a few courses available for St. Mary's, so the places are limited. So although the deadline is submitting the application is nearly in January, but it doesn't mean that you need to wait until end of the month. You need to start your application process as soon as possible in order to be to give you enough time to apply for the visa, getting the CAS letters. So I would recommend the students to apply as soon as possible, get the CAS letters. Because of the limited places, you may not be able to get a chance to study as well. So I recommend them to apply as soon as possible, get the offers done, get the CAS letters in any unavoidable circumstances, because we are seeing that particularly in Bangladesh and Pakistan, a lot of students who are not getting dates for their visa applications. Particularly once the students apply for online application form, there's a delay giving decisions from UKVI. On that particular aspect, university is able to help you in terms of online enrollment, and if a flight is delayed, so university is with you depending on your own circumstances. Doesn't mean that is the 25th is the enrollment deadline is
No, I
18.
mean, no, that's the absolute latest, but I would highly advise if students do want to apply to do so really by the end of this year. That's, you know, the absolute latest with exception. So realistically, by the end of this year, first week of January, get your applications in. Even if you don't have your English language qualification, but you have your academic grades, you can still make an application. You could receive a conditional offer, obviously, if you meet the requirements, and then at a later date you can then submit your English language qualification. But at least if you get a conditional offer, then you can then catch up with all of the other additional documents that you need at a later date. And as you said, we do have quite a few students that have deferred from September. We only have a limited number of courses available. So the earlier, the better, really. And obviously for students that want to take advantage of this new graduate route Tier 4 visa with the 2-year post-study work options, then I'd highly recommend that they do apply for a January course, whether it's ours or another UK institution, because again, we don't really know what's going to happen for the next year.
Okay. Yes, this is a very good advice for our prospective students. So get in this January session to get the opportunity, because the postgraduate work visa is starting from this summer, as mentioned by UKVI, and we never know what's going to happen after the Brexit situation. And we are hoping for the best, but to take this opportunity as early as possible, I recommend our prospective students to send your documents as soon as possible. Get our counselors are available for you for any particular career-based advice. As we mentioned earlier, that is HNS Global Education providing and career-based counseling as well. So our counselors are available in Bangladesh, in London, in India, in Pakistan, and Morocco as well. So if any particular students have any question in hand, you can give us a call. You can text message as well through WhatsApp, and you can also email us as well. Our team will go through your previous qualification and your experience and guide you according to the course that is needed for you. That is actually helpful for your future career. We have started having questions from our prospective students. Undaleeb, I don't want to waste any of the hours. I'm going to wait for our students' time. So let's go through each of the questions, and we can actually give them the answer that is needed. Majidul Islam says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Majid. Let's go to your questions. What is the estimated tuition fee for the sociology course for the every year? Basically, in terms of sociology course, if it is a master's level course, the course fee is starting from 13,950, if I'm not wrong, Undaleeb.
Absolutely. All of our master's programs, apart from physiotherapy, are exactly the same price. So all of our master's programs, whether it be business, education, social sciences, are priced at 13,950. That's from September 2021. However, the business programs, chronic disease management that we mentioned for January are still the 2020 fees, which are 13,650. So there's a £300 increase for the September intake, but they're all the same price. And then at undergraduate level, it's 12,900 per year for all of the undergraduate programs.
And in terms of scholarship, they're asking about a scholarship. What is in terms of scholarship criteria and how they can apply and how much they can apply for?
For postgraduate students, the base scholarship is £1,500. So if a student applies that exceeds our entry criteria, so we're looking at GPAs of 2.8 and above, ideally 3, with a strong personal statement. So they really need to show their interest and focus on the university and not be just a generic personal statement. Then they have a very good chance of at least be awarding £1,500. In some cases, there might be slightly more available, but that's looked at on a case-by-case basis. But it's safe to say that a £1,500 scholarship is available pretty much for most students, as long as they apply sooner rather than later, because it's not guaranteed for every single student, because obviously once the pot of scholarship money runs out, then no more can be allocated. But if a student obviously has a strong GPA, a great personal statement, meets the English language criteria, then they could look at what you could see it as more or less a £1,500 discount of a fee of £13,900. And then at undergraduate level, we have scholarships of £3,000 for the first year. So again, students that exceed our entry criteria would be eligible for a £3,000 tuition fee discount for that first year, which would bring their tuition fees down to, well, yeah, under £10,000 for the first year.
Yes, so Majed, there is no bachelor degree program, direct bachelor degree programs. Feel free to email us if you want to apply for the bachelor degree program for St. Mary's. We have other alternative solution for that through St. Mary's Bachelor Partner Homes Education Group. So feel free to send your documents to us. We're going to discuss about that particular course that is available for the bachelor. But if you want to go for bachelor for next year, it will be just September 2021. Say as Undaleeb mentioned, that the fees will be from 2021 will be 12,900, and the scholarship available case by case basis. So our prospective students who are waiting for to apply for January session, I recommend you to apply as soon as possible to be eligible for 1,500 minimum scholarship that is available, and it is case by case basis, and also it is depending on the university's funding criteria, whether they have enough funding available by the time you send the application and it has been approved or not. And our second student, Farhana Begum, was asking about, she has done a degree in BA Honors in English and wants to study business management. So, Undaleeb, one of our students asking a question, she already sent the documents to us. She has done a degree from leading university with a CGPA 2.77, which is actually 60% mark. Now she has been working as a, let me see what she has done. She has been working as a management, as a manager in one of the companies for last 4 years. So she has done a degree in English. She has been working for a company for 4 years. Whether she'll be eligible for business courses? I think you mentioned earlier, quite a while ago, that in order to be applied for MSc International Business, you don't have to have a business degree, if I'm not wrong.
No, you don't. The only issue might be large study gaps. So this is probably relevant for all students to be aware, particularly if they're studying in the UK. If there's been a very large gap between the time that you graduated and the time that you're applying for either a master's or undergraduate course, then that could be looked at not always positively. So you have to demonstrate exactly what you've been doing during those years that you haven't been studying. If you have obviously a strong CV and clear work experience, particularly if it's relevant work experience for the program that you're applying for, then that will definitely work in your favour. But be mindful that generally for UK VI purposes, most UK universities will be cautionary when it comes to students that have large study gaps. So make sure, if you already know it's been, 5, 6, 7 years since you've graduated and you're applying for a course, make sure that there's a clear history in terms of what you've been doing during that time, and ideally ensure that it's aligned with the course that you want to then study, because that doesn't always work in your favor if there's a big gap. So this particular student in question, a BA in English is generally fine for an postgraduate degree in business, as long as she has the relevant grades. She could do obviously a fundamentals module in business to bridge that gap. What we would need to look at is obviously her CV and understand what she's been doing during those 4 years.
Okay, thank you very much. So Farhana, I think you get the answer. So send we received your academic qualifications, but we were yet to receive your CV, your work experience, and depending on that, we submit your application to the university, and university to make a decision based on that. Okay. our next student who recently has been working as a medical assistant training officer. So what she is saying that she has done a diploma in nursing, and along with that, she has a 4 year diploma. So I think students with a 4 year diploma, whether they will be eligible to apply for bachelor degree under it.
Possibly, yes. I mean, I didn't mention our undergraduate entry criteria, but it's probably worth telling everyone that we also accept direct HSC students if they have a minimum GPA of 4 out of 5 or 75% in all subjects for direct entry. So unlike a lot of universities that would require an international foundation, students with a strong HSC GPA could be eligible for direct entry. So with the diplomas, I guess we would have to review that on a case-by-case basis. We would actually need to see the documents first. But if the student has a diploma as well as HSC with a minimum GPA of 4 out of 5, then direct entry is quite probable.
Okay, I think Zaman, you get the answer. So send your full documents to us, and we'll review it and get back to you. Our next student who is asking, I think Abdul asking about whether he would be eligible for going for masters. He has done a bachelor degree in business management, business administration with a major in human resource management. Along with that, he has done a MBA. So students who has already done an MBA in Bangladesh, now they want to move to MSc. Is there any difficulties to getting the offers for them?
Not necessarily. I mean, where there used to be issues, particularly with our older Tier 4 visa, is if a student had already studied in the UK and done an MBA, but then wanted to do an MSc, then there would be questions about progression. But if a student's done an MBA in Bangladesh and then wants to do another MSc in the UK, then in terms of progression, there's not an issue. What I think students must be aware of if they are interviewed by the UKVI, they would need to clearly demonstrate why, after doing an MBA, they would then want to do an MSc, for example, in another business subject. And, you know, often MScs are much more specialized, and obviously having an international degree also counts for a lot more. So I understand that, but I think for UKVI purposes, it's very important that students are very clear in terms of their narrative as to why, after already having, you know, X amount of qualifications from their home country, including an MBA, to then want to progress onto another business MSc. And it's fine if you can, you know, clearly demonstrate the additional skills that you will gain. And obviously, if there's a specific specialism, if you want to focus on finance or accounting or marketing, then that's quite clear. But my only advice would just be just know what your narrative is in terms of why you want to do another master's in the same subject area. But in terms of, you know, academic progression requirements, there shouldn't be an issue, no.
Yes, so I think I will ask Muqtadir I'll ask Abdul to send your full qualifications to us. We can make your applications. As Undaleeb mentioned that, yes, you are eligible. So you need to have a strong personal statement why you want to do this course after having an MBA. I recommend you full documents to us before you send the applications. Now, the other questions we are getting, like in Bangladesh, because of the pandemic, those students who finished their courses in 2019, they started receiving their provisional certificates. They did not get the final certificate because the university's exam board is not being held. So on those particular students, what is the advice? How is the St. Mary's accepting them?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We had the same issue for our September intake. You know, so many students, weren't able to complete their module or hadn't received their final degree certificate. So we were accepting applications with provisional transcripts or certificates. So please do go ahead and apply with what you currently have. It's even more helpful if you have a letter from your university to basically state when your final degree certificate will be available. That will obviously help in terms of the decision making, but our students for our September intake were still getting conditional offers based on the provisional transcripts that they had. So if it's still the case now, which I'm sure it is, feel free to continue to apply based on the documents that you currently have, and then as and when they're released, then you can obviously update your application with your final degree certificates or transcripts.
Yes, so our prospective students, you listen to our answer. You are feel free to apply your application with the provisional certificate, and it will be better for us as well if you get a letter from your prospective university mentioning that your I think it is a kind of award confirmation letter. The award has been confirmed, although you didn't get your final certificate. As long as you have these two documents in hand, you feel free to make the application, get the process done. Okay, we got another question, student asking about they have done a 3 years bachelor degree in Bangladesh followed by a master's. Okay, I think it is another common question that students are asking. In Bangladesh, there is a 3 years BCom qualification, which is not equivalent to bachelor degree, and some students wants to their master. Some students has done their followed by a 1 year master's. So I think, if in my personal experience is that students with a 3 year bachelor degree in Bangladesh followed by 1 year master, they will be eligible for direct master's in St. Mary's. If I'm not wrong,
yeah, that's correct, because they would have had 4 year higher education experience. So generally, that's not a problem.
Okay, so our prospective students, we still in online. We're gonna give the answers of your questions. If you feel free to send your text messages or WhatsApp through WhatsApp, or you can actually comment us to our link below. If you have any question in hand, because we are actually about to finish our sessions in a very short time. So if you have any question in hand, please feel free to send us as soon as possible. And we are actually, I believe we are now. Let's move on to the sessions. There is a 14. Some students are asking about the 14 days quarantine period and how the university is helping in terms of the accommodations and all. If you can just give us a brief about the accommodation facilities that St. Mary's is offering.
For postgraduate students for January, I'm actually still trying to find out the final details, because we're still actually dealing with our September cohort, if I'm honest with you. I can explain what we did with our September cohort, because I'm sure it might be similar. For postgraduate students, there's only one off-campus halls of residence on offer. So undergraduate students are guaranteed on-campus accommodation, but our postgraduate students, if they're interested in our catered off-campus halls of residence, which is like a 5-minute walk from the campus, what we were doing, we were trying to work out timings of students arriving in the UK, because they would obviously have to quarantine in one place. So we were allowing students to quarantine in their halls of residence. New arriving students, we were grouping together so that students wouldn't be completely isolated. So, for example, if they were all coming from a certain country where they had to quarantine, they would all be literally, in the same flat. So that at least they weren't completely isolated, and their meals were delivered to them, morning, noon and night. So I assume we would have probably similar provisions for our January intake. I'm just still waiting for final confirmation in terms of what accommodation is available for January, because I think we're still dealing with a lot of students from September. The alternative, I believe, is, I don't know, to be honest, what the rules will be for January, because they are changing on a weekly, daily basis. It might be that the quarantine ends. It might be that Bangladesh might not be on the list. It might be that students will have to go into self-quarantine, so either stay with a family member, or if they've already pre-arranged their accommodation, so that could be private accommodation, it would just mean that they would have to stay in their accommodation for those 2 weeks. The university student services will obviously be there to help students. So those that aren't, for example, in catered accommodation, they will provide assistance in terms of meal delivery, for example. Your induction will ensure that you are well looked after, and whatever rules will apply for January, you'll be made fully aware of. I'm sorry I can't give more detailed information, but the truth is I don't really know what's going to happen in the next few months. It's anyone's guess at this point. So sorry, let me just, that's better. So just rest assured that whatever the provisions will be for January, students will be kept in the loop. We will provide assistance wherever we can. So whether you're staying on, off or on campus accommodation, we will ensure that you are looked after. So it's still, I know the students that have arrived, they've been 2 weeks in quarantine. I mean, we've been very fortunate as a university that we've not had many cases. You might have heard in the news that a lot of the larger UK institutions have had large infection rates on campus. As you can imagine, you've got thousands and thousands of students on campus. A real USP for St Mary's is that we are a much smaller institution, so we are able to control our numbers much better. Class sizes are also generally much smaller, and it's a bit easier to manage, all of the social distancing and all of the relevant provisions that we need to make to manage the situation. So that's quite reassuring for students, particularly parents as well, when students are coming into the UK and London. Richmond, the borough that we're situated in, also had one of the lowest number of infection rates as well. So I'm not saying that things might not change dramatically, because it's anyone's guess what will happen on a day-to-day basis. But just rest assured that, we put the safety of our students first. So whatever will need to be done during, nearer the time will be done.
Okay, thank you very much, Undaleeb, for explaining the total accommodation situation. As our viewers, you know that the COVID situation, the COVID updates is coming weekly basis, even daily basis as well. Undaleeb, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm cut. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a weekly basis and daily basis as well. So we're gonna keep you updated according to the situation that is comes into hand. And also, University of St Mary's is quite keen to take care of their students, as the number of students over there, they were very small class size, and so taking care of the students is a important priority of the university. And we actually nearly finishing our sessions today. As just a brief, I can give a short briefing about what we discussed for the viewers who just joined our session bit late. We discussed about our St. Mary's University's January 2021 session, bit discussion about September 2021 for undergraduate particularly. There are few programs available for January sessions: business management, finance, and accounting. In particular, we have chronic management course available. Day entry requirement for the postgraduate courses, IELTS 6.5 no less than 6.0. There is a scholarship available for our postgraduate students for up to 1,500. Depending on the student's mark, it can go up a bit better, bit higher, depending on your previous grades and IELTS score as well. University would make a decision. So students who are interested to apply for January session and want to apply for the scholarship, I recommend them to submit their application as soon as possible. Get your offer in hand. Students who are good in English, I highly recommend them to take the university's intern English test. Our HNH Global dedicated English team will be available to you to guide you how to take the exams, what are the steps you need to go on. So our team will be available and guide you based on that. I recommend you send your full qualifications, full documents. If you have any questions in hand, and students who are to watch this session after in our Facebook page, if you have any other questions in hand, please feel free to email us in our info@hsglobaledu.co.uk. Our WhatsApp number is 0796955331. You can email us, you can WhatsApp us as well. Our Facebook Messenger is open as well. If you have any other social media, you can contact us to our YouTube channel, to our Instagram as well. So I recommend to our students to apply as soon as possible, get your offer done. I thank you, Undaleeb, for coming to this live session and give your valuable time to us and explaining the courses. I'd like to ask her to give as a closing speech to our prospective students for January 2021 and also upcoming September 2021.
Sure. Well, thank you again for having me, and thank you to all of the listeners for staying tuned and for all of your questions. It's been a real pleasure. I'd just like to say that while this is a really uncertain time for everyone, particularly students considering an international education, there's no doubt that studying abroad in general is still a great thing and a really exciting opportunity. I'd like to say that choosing the UK, it will without a doubt broaden your outlook, and it will give you global exposure and an opportunity to broaden your networks in what is still one of the most exciting countries and cities, particularly London, in the world. And of course, our new graduate route will greatly improve students' post-study work opportunities. And in terms of St Mary's, choosing our university, I think, will not only give you a chance to improve your education opportunities, it's going to take you out of your comfort zone and push you to become better. And that's all within a really friendly, modern and welcoming environment. So I really hope that you've got a good idea of our university. I would highly recommend to have a look on our website, as we discussed, more detail on courses and modules, but also if you'd like to get a feel for the institution, we have a virtual tour which you'll find on our website, and that's a great way to kind of get a feel for our campus, which is a real magnet for students. So many of our students, outside of their course and teaching satisfaction, they love the campus environment. It's beautiful, green, historic campus, and it's a real home away from home. And particularly for students from Bangladesh, coming to London is an exciting opportunity, but it's not that you'll ever feel isolated. We have so many ethnic minority communities from all over the world, and I think that's what makes London so great. And it also means that you'll never really feel that you're far away from home, although you'll have such an enriching experience at the same time. So feel free, please, to forward any further questions that you have, and I really look forward to receiving your applications. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fandele, for joining our session today. And hopefully in future we're going to arrange another session. Till then, take care and safe.
Likewise. Thank you.
Bye. So dear viewers, we are ending our sessions today. If prospective students who are not being able to attend the session, I would recommend them to go through our Facebook pages at HNS Global Bangladesh, HNS Global Ahmedabad, HNS Global India, Pakistan and Morocco. If you have any, it is also lively telecasted in HNS Global YouTube channel. And so if you have any particular question in hand which you are not being able to ask, you can feel free to email us to the email address provided on the screen. Along with that, our dedicated online team is available, so you can send your queries through email, through WhatsApp, through Facebook Messenger. And thank you for joining our session. Our next session is coming up, and till then, take care and safe.